Hope you're having a great day today. Have you heard what happened to the real estate market in Dallas-Fort Worth last month in January? It exploded. We're going to talk about that. Also, another behind the scenes look at some situations we've been dealing with this week. One is a confirmation, another validation, another example of why you hire a phase inspector. And two, why you should use one of our vetted lending partners. We're going to talk about those three things. First, I'm David Russell with the Russell team. Thank you for watching this short video where I talk about buying, selling, and owning real estate. If we can help you, call, text, or email us. We're here to help. The real estate market in January was insane. There's an article down below from Steve Brown of the Dallas Morning News. Thank you, Steve, for always putting out such great content about our real estate market. Not always good news, but he puts out great content, so I love that. And there's also a report that shows what the real estate market did in January in terms of what was the number of transactions and price point in county and then by some towns. So it's a 90-page report from my data geeks. Go check it out. The real estate market in January was insane. I don't know what that's going to do for the rest of the year, but right now it's on fire. So if you're thinking about selling, now's the time to call. Let's dig into the behind the scenes look at some situations that we dealt with in the last week since last Wednesday. One was another example of why you call our vetted mortgage partners, and you just don't go it alone and call anyone that you have heard about. In this particular case, very briefly, this individual had relocated from another town. They moved to Dallas. They quit their job in another town, moved to Dallas, and they were unemployed for a period of time. They recently secured employment, and now they're thinking about buying a house. They were speaking with a lender. The lender said, you're not eligible for a house for 1 year because you just became another W-2'd employee. This person was W-2'd at the last job, W-2 employee versus contract 1099. This lender told this person they were not eligible for a loan for 1 year. I've never heard that. So I contacted one of our partners, our lending partners, and asked them the question, and the answer was not no. You had to wait a year. It was if you go conventional, and you have good credit score, and you have the proper income, and your income to debt ratio is correct, assuming those variables are all in place, there's no reason why you can't get a conventional loan. Zero. Tomorrow. Amazing. Went from no, wait a year to we can get you a loan right now. The only caveat was for a FHA loan. If you're going FHA and this person was not employed for 6 months or greater, then they would need to wait 6 months before they could get an FHA loan. So that's a radical difference from no, you have to wait a year to yes, we can get you a loan right away. So be careful who you are calling for your loans. Please contact one of our vetted lending partners. Call me, text me, email me. I'm happy to give you their names, tell you all about them. Second, behind the scenes situation. Another reason or an example of why you hire a phase inspector. In this video, somewhere there's a link. It's going to take you to some pictures of a home, and it is called a pre-pour. These are pre-pour images. So the house is plumbing's in place, the rebar's in place, the post-tension cables are in place. We're just waiting on concrete. And I wanted to mention right now that this pour, when you look at this, keep in mind that this was green tagged by the city. The city had approved this house for concrete. Here's the two deficiencies that I'll share with you. One, the cables that you see that are blue, that's plastic blue sheeting, and then there's a cable inside that blue sheeting, and it's used to, it stretches across the house from one side to the other and from front to back. Once the concrete is cured, they usually wait a week or two, and sometimes longer, but they usually wait a couple weeks before they do this. They put about 40,000 pounds of pressure on those cables that make them really tight, and it strengthens the concrete slab. If you notice in that picture, the cables, two of them come down, and then they go out wide like this. So if they pour that slab that way with those cables like that, and the slab dries, when they pull those cables tight, it's not going to put pressure on the slab straight across up and down. It's going to put pressure in a twisted manner, and it's going to pull, that's going to try and pull that cable straight in the slab. So that's going to create pressure in that concrete. That could crack the concrete in of itself if with that pressure, the way that those cables are there. And mind you, that was green tagged by the city, approved by the city. And the phase inspector that we have caught that. So that's one critical component. And the other component is that much of the rebar, you can look at those pictures, the rebar, and then some of those blue post tension cables are lying on the black plastic. They're supposed to be suspended mid slab by these little black things that you see lying around on they're not supposed to be lying on the plastic. They're supposed to be standing up with the cable on top of it, or the rebar on top of it, supporting the rebar and the cable to be midway through the concrete slab. They're called chairs. They're lying down, and thus the cables and the rebar is lying down on the ground as well. So again, when they pour that slab, if they were to pour that slab like that, it's not going to have the proper strength, and the post tension cables are going to be in the wrong location and put weird pressure on the home. I'm not a structural engineer. I've just talked to enough of them and seen enough of this to understand that it's not right, and the city should not have approved that. And if I have any structural engineers that see this, send me a note and let me know what you think. If this is on Facebook or in LinkedIn, y'all tell me if I'm right or wrong, and if I'm right, why I'm right. If I'm wrong, why I'm wrong. I'd love to know. I want to make sure I'm correct when I give you all information. As I understand it from foundation people, as I understand it from structural engineers, that is no bueno. Those cables and rebar should be suspended, and it can be a problem if it is not corrected. So please hire a phase inspector when you are purchasing new construction and you're building from the ground up. If we can help you, call, text, or email us. That's what we're here for.